with Lauren and Jared from Miles and Macros, here to tell you about our Run It to the Summit event. It's on August 1st. You'll have 2 race options, and Jared's going to tell you about them.
First of all, the race is being held at Song Mountain Resort in Tully, New York, which is just about 25 minutes from Syracuse. And the first event is going to be an uphill challenge. We're going straight up that mountain. The next event is going to be an up, down, and then up. And that is it.
Make sure you join us. We have lots of raffles and swag, and we're looking forward to putting on our first race. Thanks, guys.
So thanks so much to Jared and Lauren for that intro. The event looks pretty burly, and it is good to see you both on deck. For all those who don't know Jared and Lauren, both wonderful individuals and athletes in their own right. Jared first met through Cayuga Trails. He has some solid trail chops. He's finished in the top 5 at a number of events. Let's see, JFK, Bandera, Whiteface, Sonoma, and also finished second at Cayuga Trails in 2 of the championship years in the 50 mile, earning a slot onto the US team. And if I remember right, and I could be wrong, but if I remember right, was the top finisher in the US squad. But in any case, thanks for that intro. For those who are not following what they're up to, check out their event. All right, so getting into this week's episode, we'll have a plug for a bit of what was in our own media this past week. The hot list from UltraSignUp, events that are on the warning track of capping out. So it would be a last call, or at least get on it now if you're looking to register. We'll have some registrations opening this week. We'll have some results from this past week, a few FKTs, and events coming up on deck. So let's get into it. Media on our Trails Collective end. For the past number of months, I was working on basically a Northeast trail race ranking project. I was pretty intrigued by the idea of actually providing metrics to rank Northeast races. It started a bit smaller in terms of vision, and it really grew from there. And it just ended up being a pretty big project. I ended up mapping over 200 races. Many of you out there helped in sending me through some course track files for the mapping, and some I just mapped outright on my own in my own mapping software. I ran each one through between 4 and 5 different mapping software programs to get an average elevation gain as well as distance, and then took into consideration technicality of course, season, as well as the elevation metrics to do the best I could to rank them into toughest categories and by division. So check that out. I will plug some of them and reference some of the events coming up in orders. In addition to the toughest categories, I also have some on most scenic, state by state in the Northeast, as well as some flat and fast options, as well as historical perspective of some of the oldest events in our region, as well as in the context of what was going on in the country and the world and the shoe world at that time. So I will plug them as we go in the upcoming weeks, but definitely check that out under the Trails Collective featured article section. And thanks to any of you who are willing, if you find value in it, to put them out on your own pages, as well as any other maybe trail groups that you're affiliated with, and maybe as a conversation starter. I'm hoping that the documents will be living documents that I'll be able to update and modify, and really including allowing other people who have run these races to weigh in. The same metrics I think don't apply for everybody in terms of the difficulty of certain courses. Some people prefer mountainous, some people flatter, faster, some technicality. So there's definitely a level of subjectivity there, but it'll be interesting to see what people think, particularly those who have run multiple courses that I've ranked. All right, so getting into the hot list. So events that are open with registration now that look like they could cap out pretty soon. Oh, and this episode, thought I'd wear this Solomon Bob hat. It seemed like Walmsley's choice in the bucket hat was all the rage coming out of Western states a week or so ago. And suddenly everybody wants to be in the bucket hat. Well, we've had this here hat in for the last couple years. It's lighter, it's thinner, it's got a little ice pocket in the top. one of y'all out there needs to get on the Trails Collector site and find it and purchase this hat, because it's pretty awesome. And now that it's all the rage, you need to get in on it. So, get it. All right, hot list. In Connecticut, Soapstone Assault 6 miler slated for August 1st in Somers, Connecticut is 95% full with only 4 spots remaining. In New York, my events, the Virgil Crest Ultras, slated for September 11th in Virgil, New York, with distances ranging 50K to 100 mile with a relay option, are up 3% this week to being 95% full. Now would be the time. Tesla Hertz runs 110 mile up through 100 mile, slated for October 9th in Rocky Point, New York. The 100K is 92% full with only 2 spots remaining. 50K is already capped out. There are 23 spots remaining for the 50 miler and 6 for the 10 mile. And the 100 mile distance looks like it's showing safe at the moment for a little bit of time to get registered there. In PA, the Green Mile by North Park Trail Runners. It's a loop challenge slated for September 18th in North Park, PA. It's 95% full with an event size cap of 100. Course is a 2-mile loop within a 6-hour timed event format. All right. Just a couple, just 2, I think, FKTs of this past week. A little bit quieter with events running again and also being the holiday week. New York, Lindsay Webster, 1 hour, 14 minutes for the Adirondacks Hurricane Mountain. Lindsay is an incredible athlete. This one I'm a little confused by, though. On the Hurricane Mountain route, Lindsay has the listed for this past week as setting new FKT. But Lauren Longfield's time from 2020 is a minute or so quicker and also listed. So I reached out to Lindsay to get a little clarification there, but just we'll have to wait and see on that one. In Rhode Island, Ben Quattromoni, 1 hour, 35 minutes for the 13.5 mile single track and technically woven Arcadia Trail. I have not spent much time in Rhode Island, so I can't really weigh in on the trail resources and options there. But I have a feeling that they're relatively limited in terms of overall acreage and the type of trail that's there. But this sounds like a pretty cool trail. It's an out and back 14 miler with some nice technical rock, sounds like gardens woven in. But Ben's mark lowers the prior from 2020 by 7 minutes. So nice work, Ben. All right, getting into some results. One that ran this past weekend that is a paved one and therefore not truly worthy of your consideration, but which I'm going to plug it anyway, since Vanessa and John, the RDs, are outstanding people, endurance athletes, and trail woven on their own. I think they are road tripping right now, maybe to the last Vol State race at the moment. Gluttons for punishment. But we're going to plug it. Of 16 finishers in the 100 mile, Chris Rice took the overall on 18:47, dueling to the end to take the win by only 7 seconds over Brian Campbell. That's pretty crazy. 7 seconds at the end of a 100 mile on a loop course. Must have been pretty intense. Top woman of the day was Anna Miglio in 23:41. Of 31 in the 24-hour, Michael Gagliardi took the win with nearly 130 miles covered, with Rachel Belmont for the women in just over 90 miles. For the 12-hour of 29 finishers over 2 heats, Jacqueline Shoki was top finishers with 66.4 miles, with Alexis Davidson top dude with 52.5. And a note on an individual we mentioned, for those of you who don't know, Michael Gagliardi has a pretty great podcast. It's called Running Times with Gags. And he's got a couple dozen and counting episodes on there with some pretty amazing and inspirational individuals. So we'll have it linked. I think it's on maybe Apple Podcasts, might be on Spotify, and there was another one in there. But we'll plug at least one of them. So check those out. He does a great job. Baltimore's Twilight Trail Race. And in an ode to Independence Day, Baltimore's Twilight Trail Race starts in the moments of sunlight's last gleaming and finishes at dusk or in the dark. Of 70 finishers, Brian Baker took the overall win in 48:15, with Emily Reel top woman on the day in 58:50. All right. And then one that I was out at the Finger Lakes 50s. Finger Lakes 50s, for those of you not familiar with it, it was their 32nd running. It's put on by the Finger Lakes Runners Club and is in the top 10 of oldest trail races in the Northeast. By my counting, coming in at number 9 in terms of historic trail races. When the course is dry, it's rolling and pretty fast. Many years, though, including this one, the gods of rain shone down with the thunderclouds ahead, as it's doing seemingly with a lot of events in the Northeast this summer so far. And so the course was absolutely drenched in puddles and mud. and just got even more so as the day went on. Of 84 25K finishers, my friend Dan Timmerman emerged in front in an hour and 54 minutes, with Donna Langerfeld in second with 2 hours 20 minutes. Of 89 in the 50K, it was fun to see Sarah Briggs and Ellie Pell duel a bit in the front half, with Sarah pulling away for a new course record win in 4:34. Top male in the day was third place Tim Phelps in 4:51. In the 50 miler, of 21 finishers, Itan Levavi, Itan, I'm sorry, I'm probably mispronouncing that, took the overall win in 7 hours 40 minutes 20 seconds, with Riley Brady, top female and hot on his heels, in 7 hours 40 minutes 59 seconds. That was close. Riley's time is the second fastest women's time in event history out there for the 50 mile, behind Eliza Lapierre's time in 2008. However, the course was modified after 2010, so Riley secures the fastest time run on the new course. So nice work, Riley. Riley, with a couple friends, went right into a week-long bike trip, I think the day after running that 50 mile. So pretty phenomenal athlete. Riley, hopefully you're having a great time out there right now. All right, and cueing us into some voices from the collective and post Finger Lakes 50s. This was a post-race clip with 25K winner Dan Timmerman.
All right, Dan Timmerman, win on the day. So this, you probably, I think, are more familiar with this course than probably anybody on earth in terms of the terrain and Finger Lakes National Forest. So take us through a little bit how this course runs and just what the Finger Lakes National Forest 50s are all about.
Ironically, I live a mile away or so, but I actually, when I showed up here today, didn't know where it was going. But yeah, I know the trails very well. It's usually muddy, and I think I've actually never done it. Also ironic. It was muddy today, lots of standing water, but it didn't seem like it was. It didn't seem like it was slow.
So for those not really familiar with the, I guess, layout, I mean, take us through just kind of the general feel or nature of the kind of topography here, some of the trails.
I think the course takes advantage of all the available hills out in Hector National Forest, which is great because otherwise if you stay up on the ridge, it's pretty flat and usually pretty muddy. So I don't know, I think it kind of hits all of the really good spots up there. Great views too, not that you're really looking at it.
Yep. And then how'd the race shake out? I imagine you were kind of up front and pretty much just kind of solo?
Yeah, surprisingly, right off the start line down the downhill, I think I had a large gap that I didn't expect to have. I didn't really intend to have. And I don't know, felt okay, so I just went with it and kept flowing.
Yep. And you feel like you were just kind of flowing, rolling the whole time? Yeah?
Yeah, you know, I was just out there flowing along and decided to set this sort of arbitrary goal of holding a 7-minute pace on the watch,
Yep.
which I think I came in on my watch at 7:01.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
but
wild.
I think the race time was under 7.
That's awesome. So definitely rolling. That's definitely pretty fast, just given the amount of standing water on the course and some of the different sections. So cool. And then what? Anything else you got planned after this? Are you looking at anything else, or?
I'm just rolling with it. I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to do something else, but I have no plans. It's really a matter of what I have time for with work, and more about how much running I'm doing because of work. And you know, if I have time to do a bunch of more running, then I'll maybe try to do some longer stuff.
Yeah.
But at this point, I don't have the miles to do anything longer.
Yep.
But I would like to.
Yeah. And then, just speaking of work, a plug your business.
Timmermade. I make handmade, custom, ultralight outdoor gear right here in Trumansburg.
Right on.
Timmermade.com.
Cool. Well, good job today, man. I would have liked to get out there and run some miles with you, but maybe next round.
So nice work out there, Dan. Dan is a prior pro cyclists, both road, mountain, and cyclocross. Pretty amazing athlete. I think he would have had an amazing career in the trail and ultra world had he put his focus there instead of in the cycling world. But so it goes. He just has an incredible level of fitness and athleticism. It's been curtailed by some injuries here and there when he's just getting fit. So I think a lot of us can relate to that. But nice work out there, Dan. And following the 50K, I also had a chance to catch up with both Sarah and Ellie. And so I did a joint interview with both of them post-race. So I will weave it in here.
All right, Sarah and Ellie, great job today. So I guess just take us through, each of you, Ellie, start with you, because you were kind of leading early on, and I guess what you were thinking about there, because you were each knowing that you were both out there. And so I was excited, Ellie, for you to have some women competition to race today.
Me too. And I haven't raced very much. So so before the race, Riley Brady, who's running the 50, she told me that you were here and you got second at Cuba Trails, and I was really excited actually. And then we ran together, we sort of just leapfrogged each other and talked for most of the first loop. I wanted to get us out when it worked. I wanted to get us out before it got really gross, because I knew it was going to get gross. And then it did get gross. But it was really actually nice to have somebody right there and somebody to just, sort of lead off of, see what she does. And it's always great to be blessed to run with fast women who are gonna just make me better, so.
And then Sarah, you're tough and you're fast. And talking to Chris a little bit in the early race too, you also had to go ahead to just lay it down today, right? Just see what you could do, and you knew that Ellie would be fast. But you haven't raced each other yet?
No.
Yeah, so tell me what you were thinking coming in and how it went out there.
Well, I knew that Ellie was fast, so I would just, and we started, and you screamed down this first part, and I was like, well, I guess this is what we're doing today, so I kind of just tucked in behind you. I just tried to hold on for as long as I could, and then that second loop out, I got a little bit behind, and then I kind of had in my head that I was just running hard, and if I didn't get Ellie, I didn't get Ellie. And then I found you at an aid station, and then I was like, well, I know Ellie's right there, so then I kept pushing because I was afraid of you. so that's kind of how the last half of that race, or quarter of that race, went, just
and that is
keeping it on.
That is interesting to say, because then you're always, you can keep hammering, but then you're the one that's being chased, right? So are they going to still come back? And, and you, how was it, Ellie? You came through, we're talking about you looked pretty worked for, I guess, the effort, which is good.
It is good. I need to get into shape. And so chasing people like Sarah and being around, just racing will help me out a lot in that way. So I know I need to get into shape, and so hopefully I'll get some fitness. I definitely will get some fitness from this. The first loop, it's funny that you actually were thinking the same thing that I was, like, all right, let's just keep following and just keep pursuing and see what happens. On the second loop, Sarah passed me, and then I had to go to the bathroom. And so that's when I sort of lost a little bit of distance and lost seeing her in the woods. But I also lost all of my nutrition. And so then I was just like, this sucks. And then it really started to get kind of gross at that point. There were just lakes of water, and it's kind of hard to run through lakes and 6 inches of mud. So I really just felt like it was really 1 foot. I didn't know if I was going forward. It just felt kind of one of those. And then I'm low on sugar, so it's a little demoralizing. And but at the last aid station, I was able to get a goo. But even if I didn't, or if I didn't go to the bathroom, chances are I wouldn't, she would have won too. So who knows? But it was good things to work through. And I guess just next time I'll make sure that I got all my stuff when I stand up.
And then Sarah, when you were then hammering through in that second loop, did it feel like you were hammering? Were you pretty worked? Were you sending it still right through? I guess you couldn't, there were puddles everywhere.
Yeah, I guess it just depended on where I was. There were parts where I felt like shit. Those, it wasn't, there weren't a lot of climbs at that, that part at that point, but anything at that point I was like, ugh. But then after, just tried to work and, with what I could, given the conditions.
Yeah, and I guess that speaks a little bit to the nature of this course, where there's only maybe like 2 spots where you can feel okay about power hiking. Otherwise, it's a totally runnable course.
Yeah.
And that's hard to run that
whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely in the last 10 miles, I was just like, I could be running here, and then that gets demoralizing.
Yeah.
But it was really fun, so I can't complain about the effort and about. I mean, I will take second to this wonderful person anytime.
And what do you both have coming up?
I'm gonna do Virgil.
Atta girl.
Yeah, just decided recently. So Virgil, and then I'm gonna go to the roads in October for Wine Glass and try and
Get that OTQ?
no, half. Sorry, half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I want to go sub 120 is the
Yeah,
goal. So
nice.
we'll see. Virgil's gonna kind of throw a little bit of a wrench in there, but
50 mile at Virgil?
no, 50K. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a kind of awkward
That's like marathon
timing,
training.
but yeah. So we'll see. But I'm excited.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then Ellie, anything on?
So Phil Nesbitt wants me to do 0 SPF next weekend with him. So we'll see how it goes. Probably going to take this week off again. So that could be really fun. But still goal race of the year is, or the summer is Twisted Branch. So, and hopefully I got some fitness from this. And so I think the last 10 miles are like that demoralizing part, that at Twisted Branch it's going to be 30 miles, not 10.
Yeah.
So I kind of just need to. But thankfully, for the last 30 miles of Twisted, I'll have Amelia with me, so I'll be demoralized with her. Yeah.
Well, it was fun to see you jockeying a bit out there and to know that you were racing. So great job. And Sarah, congratulations on the new course record.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you. Thanks.
So congrats again to both of you, and for sure Sarah again on the new course record at Finger Lakes 50s for the 50K. That's pretty great. All right. Upcoming this weekend, July 10th, Catoctin 50K and Half Cat in Frederick, Maryland. Angevine Farm Half Marathons, 2K, 5K, 5K Canicross, Half, and 50K in Warren, Connecticut. The Fat Sass Switchback Challenge, 5K, 3 hour, 6 hour in New Jersey. Chernisky Classic 5K and 10K in Evansburg, PA. And on July 11th, Red Wing Trail Challenge 15K and 60K in Grangeville, New York. This awesome 7-Eleven free Slurpee Day Ultra 60K in Meriden, Connecticut. And then probably the highest profile on the weekend, the Loon Mountain Race in Lincoln, New Hampshire, now run under 6:03 with Tom Hooper and his crew. By my calculations or ranking, Loon Mountain being the third toughest 10K in the Northeast, but probably the highest profile event outright of any distance in the Northeast. It's been a prior National Mountain Running Championship venue and event, as well as a national team qualifier. It's got a field this year of, I think it's roughly 850 entrants at the moment, and no doubt will be an outstanding front end. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that shakes out. That was one I was initially in the mix of with my older daughter, but unfortunately I have a funeral this weekend to go to instead. So good luck to all out there running, and I hope you get a beautiful day. And Tom, I hope it goes pretty smoothly out there. Next weekend, July 16th, Hard Rock 100. I know it's out of the region, but a big one on people's radars. And then July 17th, Night Owl, 9K Williamsburg, Virginia, Kickin' Asphalt in North Conway, New Hampshire, Cacapon 12 Hour in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, Goshen Gallop in Goshen, Vermont, and the Chillin' and Grillin' Grillmaster 5K in Wise, Virginia. So that is what's coming up and on deck and what has been shaking in the trail running world. As I've been going in and out of testing some different models as well as some injury, it's slowing me up on some of the gear reviews. Some of the latest in one that I was putting some test miles into is the VJ Ultra. It's been pretty solid so far. Probably only have maybe, 30 or 40 miles into it, but I will weigh in on it a little bit further. VJ, for those of you who don't know, just been breaking into the U.S. market the past year or two. We've carried the Max historically in the shop. VJ uses the stickiest outsole rubber that is on the market per my testing of various outsole rubbers. Uses Kevlar or Aramid woven into the upper, which makes it fairly bomb-proof. And this model, a newer one for them, has a little bit more volume in the upper and a little bit more cush with increased stack height in the midsole. The Topo's Mountain Racer just came in a couple weeks ago. We were scheduled to get it in months ago, but with COVID delays, just arrived late. I haven't been able to put any miles into this one, but also a pretty slick model from Topo. Topo is our best-selling trail brand. The Ultra Venture from Topo was our #3 shoe in the store in 2020, which is huge, having a trail shoe being #3 when we carry all road models. What came in this past, I think about a week and a half ago, another one from the Hoka Zinal. This is one that I was long looking forward to and waiting for, and I put in my first few runs just ahead of re-tearing my ankle last week. And I'm not historically a huge fan of Hoka, where it has the traditional Hoka feel. I have like some of their lower profile ones. I love the Evo Jaws, even though it had no durability to it whatsoever. But the Zinal, I've been really waiting for. And again, the first few runs out of the box, I gotta say, it feels pretty great. Price, I think, a little bit high, but it feels really good. And I'll weigh in more on specs when I get a chance to put more miles into it. And then the latest one that arrived today, we have the North Face Vective Infinite, and this is the Future Light. Future Light is probably the, I think, highest performing waterproof membrane and fabric on the market. And so they inserted a waterproof version of the Vective series, and this one being the Infinite. It'll probably be a bit before I get to run this one once I'm all healed up, and then I can go play in some water and mud, but definitely pretty slick package. So that's what's been shaken also on the gear front, and again in the Northeast Trail world. Thanks for tuning into this episode. Thanks to all of you out there who are supporting us through liking our channel, sharing our episodes, liking the videos on YouTube, subscribing, and all those who are contributing in terms of Patreon support. Still looking to grow this thing. Take your time looking at some of the feature articles that we laid out. I put a lot of work into that, and hopefully they are really just useful for you all. Just scoping out events, putting new ones on your radar, exposing you to events maybe that weren't on your radars prior, and allowing you to build out your own calendars a bit more in the future. All right, so I am going to take us out with the video that I made from Saturday on the Finger Lakes 50s. So don't let the cows out. Take it.
Oh.
All right, on your mark, get set, go! That's yours, brother!
Yeah, Ellie.
We watch the sunrise through the windows of our car, passing giants on the road, standing guard in the dark.
It's good.
I saw you.
That's not a bad thing.
So then in secret, I felt like the jumper off the bridge, and the water down below will be keeping this, and I will let you cause I wanna be like the wind, I wanna run with you.
Yeah.
We can be wolves, howling at the brave white moon. I wanna be by your side when we light up the sky for the world to see. Run, 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 run with me. In the Northwest, I've seen crazy things out in the forest.
Don't let the cows out.
I've seen monsters chasing dreams, and that's where I saw me. I was chasing too.